Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you may be in the world. And welcome back to Marienborg. Welcome back to Karting de Fun. As I just get handed a couple of the grids, that means we've just had qualifying at this majestic track. And let's take a look at exactly how this track is. Here we go then. Karting de Fun is the decor of round number 2 of the BNL karting series. My name is Daan Pepels and I'll be guiding you through all the action today. Of course, we had action yesterday here as well at Karting de Fun. And, well, what a day it was. It was full of action. We had a 3-wide finish in our first race of the day in the Mini and Mini Rookies. I'm looking forward to see more of exactly the same. This track in itself then, of course, 1.3 kilometers long, located in the heart of the beautiful Marienborg. Here we go, we'll have a look at the track then. Like I said, located in the beautiful center of Marienborg. Track distance of 1.3 kilometers and a total amount of corners of 14. For the stewards though, for the people that thought that yesterday, it's 12, excuse me. That's why I'll be calling 12 out the whole weekend. But 14 counted on our track map here. I do agree with this track map. Of course, it's a clockwise circuit. That means the left side of your neck will be strained more than the right hand side. But we're getting ready for our first session of the day. And it's Mini and Mini Rookie. Here we're looking at the 122. We do have quite a couple of Mini and Mini Rookies. In total, we have 22 drivers in this class. The 22 of Riley Morrow, of course, yesterday was involved in that amazing 3-wide finish in the qualifying heat. So let's hope that Riley Morrow can do exactly the same here today. Max Jolly in the 116 has once again taken pole position today. This is him. And, well, Max Jolly's been the story of the season so far with his performances. Yesterday, though, couldn't quite put it all together in the final. And it was Riley Morrow who took the victory there and won overall in the final. Here we go. Both lined up side by side. There is Riley Morrow next to Max Jolly. Tom Reed, though, will be starting on the front row as well. These three at the front are names that we've heard before. And yesterday it was the exact same order in qualifying. Max Jolly on pole, Tom Reed in second, Riley Morrow in third, and Mick Klinkers on P4. We'll take a look at the grid further when we leave the pre-grid. There is the number 10 of Tom Reed. There you go, mechanics been told to clear the grid. That is our sign that we're 3 minutes out from the opening of the exit of the pre-grid. So let's take a look then at how Mini and Mini Rookie is lining up. I mean, the championship in itself is an exciting one already. We have, like I said, 22 drivers on the grid. The races yesterday were majestic for these drivers, and as they have done so often, they've shown the older guard exactly how you race around this track. And if we look at the championship standings for the Mini and Mini rookies. It's Austin Oman who found himself in first together with Riley Morrow before yesterday. That has all changed, of course. Tom Reed found himself in second, just 2 points behind those two at the front. And it was Austin Gibson in fourth, ahead of Lewis Boots. Of course, the story there is that Max Jolly was only able to take 11th coming out of the first round at Genk. If you take that into consideration, it's been a better round here so far at Marienborg Karten de Fun for Max Jolly. We are 1 minute out from the opening of pre-grid. And, well, I'm excited to get this going again. If any of this, what we saw yesterday, is carrying over in today, I mean, I'm all for it. Another 3 wide finish. I can't wait. Alright, there is the opening of the pre-grid. That means that this is our cue to take a look at the full starting grid. Starting grid for the qualified heat for Mini and Mini rookies looks as follows. It is Max Jolly on the pole position, Tom Reed in second, Riley Morrow in third, and Mick Klinkers in fourth. We touched on that earlier. Austin Oman, leader of the championship coming into this round. He finds himself in fifth. Leo Livings in sixth. It's Tristan Abels in seventh. Vincent Walker in eighth. Ninth is Harry Radcliffe. Matthias Verreken on 10th. It's Mikkel Gottschalk in 11th. 12th is Arlo Gamble. 13th, Conrad Doyle in Herbots in P14. P15 for Jonathan Ottesen. And P16. And the 8th row for Tren van Meelik. 9th row of the grid then, Dejan Habets and Ryan Rampedareth in 18th and 17th respectively. Row 10 of the grid is Kian Hai and Malte Holm. And row 11 of the grid is Miro de Kousmaker and Philippe Massart. That's how the drivers will be lining up. They're on their formation lap now. As we see, overtaken already. Check the clock there. I thought we were racing for a second, but we're not. It's Max Jolly on the left-hand side of screen once we come to the gantry. Tom Reed on the right-hand side of screen, the two teammates. Both driving with a Tony Kart chassis. Who couldn't get a grips of Riley Morrow in the final yesterday. This time they're starting on the front foot already. Seven minutes plus 1 lap. All starts in the qualifying heats yesterday were as permitted. As we round off corner 12 of 12, we get into the tram lines. As soon as the light goes out, we're underway. And the light doesn't go out, we're not underway. The light did not go out. And that means we're going to have a redo of the start. And that is Austin Oman, who is letting so many drivers by because he had a majestic start. He'll be disappointed that this start got called off. Boy, oh boy, did he have a great jump off the line. Had a great first corner. In turn 2, he was third already. Starting 5th. And right behind, Tom Reed in 2nd. As everyone here gets ready for another race start. All right, let's get it right this time, shall we? Let's take it easy, lads, until they tell you to go green. That's now, though. The lights are out. We're underway and racing. It's a good start for Max Jolley up the inside already, though. Comes the 122 of Riley Morrow and Austin Oman. They've both gone past. Max Jolley has been jostled back to P4. It's Tom Reed in 3rd. And the two of Riley Morrow and Austin Oman together at the front of the field now, heading the way. Riley Morrow ahead of Austin Oman, but once again, just like he did in the aborted start, Austin Oman with a great start, up from 5th to 2nd on 1 lap, and Riley Morrow from 3rd to 1st. Both Tony Kart chassis from Max Jolley and Tom Reed jostled back to 3rd and 4th. 7 minutes plus 1 lap in this qualifying heat. Plenty of time for them to get back those lost positions. As we soon come through to complete the 2nd lap. Biggest movers then on these first couple of laps. Riley Morrow and Austin Oman, of course, at the front of the field, gained 2 and 3 positions respectively. 2 positions gained for Harry Ratcliffe and Matthias Verreken as well. 7 and 8 they are respectively. And Arlo Gamble also up 2 positions on that first lap. We come through to complete lap number 2. Let's see if anyone has moved any further up the road. Harry Ratcliffe is up to 6th now. The 113. Now biggest mover together with Austin Oman. Oh, as there comes the 110 of Tom Reed at the inside of Austin Oman, who gets put back to 4th. It's also Max Jolley who finds his way past. That gives Riley Morrow a small gap. Not the greatest of laps for Austin Oman after that start. Seems to be struggling somewhat. As he's all over the back now of Max Jolley. Has to look behind him. Austin Oman is not ready to give up this one. Meanwhile, Harry Ratcliffe still up 3 and 6 now. Then it's Mick Klinkers with a purple first sector. Quickest lap time of the race, a 59.269 by Riley Morrow on the last tour of the track. As through we come for lap number 4. Once again, Max Jolly, the longer this race goes on, the closer he gets to Tom Reed. That was the story of yesterday's final two. At some point, they even switched positions to give Max Jolly a chance to hunt down Riley Morrow. Two and a bit minutes left here. And Max Jolly is all over Tom Reed. Will he go for a move into turn 1? That's the question. Max Jolly, no, Max Jolly gets caught out by Austin Oman. Didn't go for the move on Tom Reed, and Austin Oman doesn't need that invitation twice. Up to P3 he goes. Max Jolly down to 4th. Can Austin Oman get back up to 2nd place, where it was before he got overtaken by both Tom Reed and Max Jolly on lap number 3 of this race? He sure is going for it. These three glued together, and still that 3/4 gap for Riley Morrow. Up the inside goes Max Jolly of Tom Reed, who's also lost out now to Austin Oman. And also loses out to the 105 of Mick Klinkers. The Dutch driver now up to 4th. Tom Reed from 2nd to 5th in the span of, what, 2 corners? Gets that position back, though, on Mick Klinkers. Up to 4th he goes again. Here's the battle for P2, though. Max Jolly behind Austin Oman. The two virtually glued together. But meanwhile, Riley Morrow at the front of the field, allowed to break away. Look at the speed coming out of the right-hander of 10 by Max Jolly. Had tremendous exit speed, but couldn't quite carry it through. As into turn 2 we go again. And the gap now has opened up slightly. What can Austin Oman do? They're both gaining, though, on Riley Morrow. Last lap, both drivers a 10th faster than our leader in the race. And they have one more lap after this one. Mick Klinkers still on the bumper of Tom Reed. That front bumper has a dent on it. That might well be a click bumper for Mick Klinkers. With that in mind, he needs to try and open up a 5-second gap to the carts behind. And the gap for him, sadly, at the moment is only 2.1, and there's a lot of carts within 5 seconds of him. This time round, once again, they've closed down 1.5 tenths on Riley Morrow. Only 2 tenths is the gap, but this is the last lap of the race. There's not much more time than this. Riley Morrow gave himself the gap when it mattered. And it's just a case of hanging on to it. They've closed all the way up to the bumper of Riley Morrow. Austin Oman doesn't get many chances here. Best chance will be into 11. But can he get close enough through 8, 9 and 10? Into 11 goes Riley Morrow, still knowing that he's in front. Will it be a drag race to the line like we saw yesterday? It will be, but it will be Riley Morrow who will finish ahead of Austin Oman and Max Jolly in P3, Tom Reed in 4th, and Mick Klinkers in 5th. Let's hope for Mick that there isn't a click bumper there. If that would be the case, he dropped back to almost outside of the top 10. I think he would be 10th exactly if that happened. If my live timing doesn't lie to me. The 110 though of Tom Reed is under investigation, I can see on my live timing. But here's the result then. Riley Morrow wins ahead of Austin Oman. And Max Jolly in P3, Tom Reed 4th, Mick Klinkers in 5th, Harry Ratcliffe in 6th, Jensen Walker 7th, Leo Livings in 8th, Matthias Vreken in 9th, Conrad Doyle in P10, Arlo Gamble 9th, Mikkel Gottschalk in P12, Tristan Abels in 13th, Dejan Habets 14th, Leon Herbots 15th, Trent van Meelik in 16th, Ryan Rampadaret in 17th, Kian Hai in 18th, Malte Holm 19th, Philip Massard 20th, Minute de Kousmaker 21st, and Jonathan Ottersen in P22. After starting 15th, down 7 positions. Biggest gainer then in the field? Well, it's a couple of drivers with 3 positions gained. Austin Oman, Harry Ratcliffe in 6th, and Conrad Doyle in 10th, together with Dejan Habets in P14. That was it then for the Mini and Mini rookies. Next up, DD2 and DD2 Masters. Right, on we go then with DD2 and DD2 Masters. We need to be quick here because we're in our formation lap already. Sam Knopius, who else? Taken pole position. Perfect weekend from him so far. And Antoine Barbaro in 2nd on the front row together with him. Wout Kirstjens in 3rd and Frederick Zebes in 4th. William Norbach in 5th out of Christoph Captain in 6th. 7th is Gustavs Ustakovs and 8th is Axel Goes. Nicolas Guillem in 9th and Jeremy Brasler in 10th. 11th is Matti Zankas and Lawrence Herbots in P12. Mikael Becker in P13. Kian de Brandt in 14th. 15th is Marco Drittenprijs and 16th is Lisanne Kielstra. Alright, let's line up then, shall we? 16 total drivers. Getting ready for this start. Alright, here we go then. Coming to the 5 red lights. They're out. We're underway. It's a great start by the DD2 and DD2 Masters. Round the outside though goes Wout Kerstens, I think that was. No, it wasn't. Is Sam Knoppjes at the front of the field. Anton Barbaro in second still. And Wout Kerstens in third. But massive run round the outside there of turn 1. As we come through to complete lap number 1, it's still Sam Knoppjes at the front. Anton Barbaro keeping him very honest this time round though. He seems to have found some speed compared to yesterday. And it is Anton Barbaro now up to P1. Like we saw yesterday, Sam Knoppjes being challenged, coming right back at him. Showing him who's boss. And Sam Knoppjes back up to P1. Anton Barbaro was first for a moment, comes back at him into turn 6. All this fighting has allowed the 468 of Wout Kerstens also to get through. And for the first time really this weekend, Sam Knoppjes is down as far as 3rd, down as far as 4th because the 433 of Frederick Zebis comes through as well. William Norback in the 405 through as well. Sam Knoppjes from dominating, literally dominating all of yesterday, all of a sudden is down to 8th. Massive work to do for Sam Knoppjes, and it's Anton Barbaro with a chance now to take this home. And remember, qualifying heat this as well. This will set you up for the pre-final later on today. So the further down Sam Knoppjes is finishing, the more difficult he's making today for himself. So Anton Barbaro now at the front of the field, and Frederick Zebis, the Danish driver, up into 3rd. William Norback in 4th, the Danish driver. Oh, we had a card off. That's the 516 of Jeremy Brasler who was off. Quickest lap of the race, last time round, 54.434 for Anton Barbaro. Sam Knoppjes still in 8th, not able to gain any positions on this lap. And he can see the gap to the leader grow and grow and grow. His first sector quicker than all around him, but you don't buy much for that, do you? Gap at the front, opening up slightly. But Anton Barbaro, for the first time this weekend, with an empty track in front of him. That'll be something to get used to as well. Frederick Zebis in no man's land, kind of. Miles ahead of Niklas Guillem in 4th. And quite a bit behind Wout Kerstens. Niklas Guillem on that last tour got past William Norback. He's up 5 now. Out of all the classes, did not expect DD2 Masters to have the biggest movers here so far. As the 420 of Sam Knoppjes is now on the back of Christoph Captain. And into turn 1 we go. Can he get him? Let's wait and see. Yes, he can. At the inside goes Sam Knoppjes up at the 6th. Still has 2 minutes and a bit to go. But it looks like the podium is out of reach for him. William Norback up to P4. He's gotten past Belgian Nicolas. Here is that battle for fourth. Triple 4 in the 420 now. Seb Knopjes behind him. Seb Knopjes behind him. Of course, he got past Christoph on this lap into turn 1. And was right behind Nicolas Goulem, and he's gotten past him. Nicolas has dropped down to 7. Christoph's also gotten past him now. So from 5 positions gained to only 2 and down to 7th. Sam Knopjes back up into 5th. This is where the gap opens up a bit though. 2.6 seconds the gap from Willem Norbach to the leader Antoine Barbaro. 6/10 the gap now for Sam Knopjes not to close down to Willem Norbach. How quickly will he be able to close that down? Through we come to complete lap number 4. Well, lap number 4 I say, lap number 6 I say. And it's still the 4:02 from Antoine Barbaro, who's in the lead. Ahead of the 4:68 from Wout Kirstjens. One thing's for sure, it's not going to be a perfect weekend for Sam Knopjes. He might have had the hopes for that. But those hopes very quickly faded coming into the qualifying heat today. Alright, time's up. Coming through this time. It'll be last lap of the race that will be started. Sam Knopjes right behind. Willem Norbach has gotten a free track. Puts in the fastest lap of the race. 54.263. That's only 0.004 of a second quicker though than Antoine Barbaro at the front. Those two could have had a real good battle. But after drama for Sam Knopjes, who got, well, basically passed by 8 drivers or 7 drivers in one lap, Antoine Barbaro started all of that by a decisive move up the inside of 6. And that ultimately is what gave him this victory. Antoine Barbaro wins the qualifying heat at Marienborg. Karting defying Wout Kirstjens in 2nd, ahead of Frederik Zebes in 3rd. Seb Knopjes manages to get up to 4th at least. Got past Willem Norbach, who was also passed by Christoph Kaptein on the same lap. But Seb Knopjes, 4th only, we have to say. Winner of that heat, Antoine Barbaro. Let's go through the results then, shall we? Antoine Barbaro in 1st, ahead of Wout Kirstjens in 2nd, Frederik Zebes in 3rd, Sam Knopjes in 4th, Christoph Kaptein in 5th, Willem Norbach in 6th, Nicolas Goulem in 7th, Axel Goes in 8th, Laurens Herbots in 9th, Matej Zankas in P10, Gustavs Azakovs in P11, Kian de Brandt in P12, Mikkel Becker in P13, Jeremy Brasla in P14, Lisanne Kielstra in P15, and Marco Drittenprijs in the pits. Didn't get further than lap 1. 7 laps down, so not the race Marco Drittenprijs was hoping for. Alright then, green flag flies at the exit of the pre-grid, and that only means one thing. It's grid time, and it's a quick grid time, because we have 30 drivers to get through, 15 rows of, or 2 rows of 15 drivers. And it's Jacob Ashcroft finding himself at the front. Talked to Jacob Ashcroft this morning. He's in a complete new car. They changed absolutely everything on that. Engine, chassis, almost absolutely everything. You have to point out though, didn't change the stickers on the car. Maximum effort there, lads. Jacob Ashcroft in first. Vince van der Hale in second. Out of Shun Sekaguchi in third. Max Sadurski in fourth. Lars Lambers in fifth. Mate Koba-Hitze in sixth. Bos Maximov in seventh. Ron van der Vekke in P8. Harry Freeman 9th. And Ryan Gandur in 10th. Alex Goodson in 11th. Ahead of Sebastian Lois in 12th. 13th is Thomas Verheijen. 14th is Louise Radcliffe. 15 is Frederick Vlad Engelberts. And Lieke van Boekel in P16. Mason Bjerring in 17th. Storm van Roosem in 18th. Noah Barhan in 19th. And Isaac Barker in P20. Jente Mone 21st. Eric Brandsborg in 22nd. Archie Lovett in 23rd. Lionel Manguai in P24. Ludwig Hansen 25th. Samir Paul 26th. Ethan Griffiths 27th. Liam Haug 28th. And Koen Willems and Justin Funk on the 15th row of the grid, 29th and 30th, respectively. That's your grid for this race. If we look at the final of yesterday, you can see that it was Jacob Ashcroft winning that race. Ahead of Ryan Gandur in second, ahead of Vince van der Hale in third. That was your top three. As we round off turn 11. And we wait for them to slowly rise their revs. Telling them to go slowly, but we're going green at the first time of asking with the Max Juniors into turn 1. Goes Jacob Ashcroft in first and Vince van der Hale in second. And it looks like it is Jacob Ashcroft who's been able to keep the lead. As all of them jockeying for position, pushing, bumping, rubbing his racing, as we say. Here the battle for Lars Lambers and Mate Koba-Hitze, who's dropped back already, because that's not Mate Koba-Hitze behind him. I think that was the 230 of Bos Maximov, who was behind Lars Lambers. But Jacob Ashcroft keeping the lead out of Vince van der Hale in second. And no, it's not Vince van der Hale in second. Vince van der Hale is fifth. Shun Sekiguchi in second. Ahead of Lars Lambers now in third. And Max Sadurski was the car behind Lars Lambers. Vince van der Hale down in fifth. Archie Lovett up 10 positions though on this first lap, from 23rd to 13th. And we look at the battle for the lead between Jacob Ashcroft and Shun Sekiguchi. Should make it a good improvement from yesterday. In the final yesterday, Shun Sekiguchi finished 15th, to give you an idea. So, Shun Sekiguchi being up in second today is great improvements. Max Sadurski, quickest first sector time this time round. Once again closing in on our leader. but no one really getting away with this so far. Jacob Ashcroft being kept honest by the Japanese driver Shunshiki Gucci and Dutch driver Max Sadurski. Las Lambas in 4th, ahead of his fellow countryman Vince van der Halen in 5th. Freeman in 5th, putting in the fastest lap of the race last time round. A 10th quicker than Jacob Ashcroft at the front. Mate Kobehitse up to 6th. Vince van der Halen down to 10th. Or down to 12th, down 10 positions. 2nd to 12th. Not the race for Vince van der Halen. Here the battle with Boaz Maximov. That's the battle for 8th position. Sebastian Loisch held that at the start of this lap. Boaz Maximov behind him in 9th. And then Bran van der Wekke, Alex Gutsen, Archie Lovett and Frederick Floyd Engelberts behind. Vince van der Halen losing 2 further positions on this lap. Down 12 now in 14th. Sebastian Loisch behind Mate Kobehitse. Or no, behind Bran van der Wekke and Boaz Maximov. Yeah, I was right. Big battle going on there. That was Bran van der Wekke going up the inside of Boaz Maximov. Mate Kobehitse with the fastest lap of the race, 55.927. He's behind Harry Freeman in the 277. But they both got past Lars Lumbers because it's Lars Lumbers in the 242 behind Harry Freeman. And then Mate Kobehitse, yeah. So Harry Freeman got past Lars Lumbers. Mate Kobehitse now next behind him. Getting shoveled out of the way is the 210 of Mason Bjerring. Isaac Barker getting past him. And Bratsborg also getting past. Harry Freeman once again with the fastest lap of the race. In his attempt to catch back up to the front. Harry Freeman's got some pace in that car. Question is, can he extract it enough so that he can get on to the podium at least for now in this qualifying heat. Complete new chassis for the 277 of Harry Freeman. When I was down at technical inspection, they came to get that chassis checked. It's coming out of turn 2. Looking up the inside is Harry Freeman. But can't quite get there. Now he's under attack from Lars Lumbers, who you won't need to invite twice. But in doing so, he gets passed by Mate Kobehitse, who's now up into 5th. And pressurizing Harry Freeman for 4th. Shunji Kikuchi, 4/10 now behind Jacob Ashcroft. Little boy, let me tell you, has found some speed here. Shunji Kikuchi been passed by Max Sadurski. Mate Kobahice up to 4th, Harry Freeman in 5th now, Lars Lumbers down in 6th. So Mate Kobahice did get past Harry Freeman. Up next for Mate Kobahice is Shunji Kikuchi. But he's 8/10 ahead, so he has a big gap to close. He is doing so. Max Sadurski and Shunji Kikuchi fighting. That is allowing Mate Kobahice to close that gap rather quickly. Final lap of the race though, I don't think he's going to have enough time. We're already at the end of the qualifying heat for the Max Juniors. But through the final corner comes Jacob Ashcroft to win the qualifying heat. Max Sadurski in 2nd ahead of Shunji Kikuchi, who's made massive improvements since yesterday. And that is a majestic drive by Jacob Ashcroft. 6/10 ahead of Max Sadurski. Not quite taking the fastest lap of the race in the last tour. Vince van der Halen though in 14th. Down 12 positions. Must be a disappointing qualifying heat for Vince van der Halen. Will start 14th in the pre-final, making life very, very difficult for himself. Here's the result then. Jacob Ashcroft wins out of Max Sadurski in 2nd. Shunji Kikuchi rounds off the podium. Mate Kobahice in 4th out of Harry Freeman in 5th. Lars Lumbers in 6th. Don van de Vecke 7th. Ryan Gandor in 8th. Boas Maximov in 9th. And Sebastian Loge in P10. Alice Goodson in 11th out of Archie Lovett in 12th. Noah Barham in 13th out of Vince van der Halen in 14th. Fredrik Vlad Engerbretts in 15th. Eric Bratsberg in 16th. Lieke van Boekel in 17th. Mason Biering in 18th. Thomas Verheijen in P19. Ethan Griffiths in P20. Jente Mone in P21. Isaac Barker in 22nd. Louise Radcliffe in P23. P24 then for Ludwig Hansson. Lionel Mungwai P25. Justin Vonk in 26th. Liam Haug in 27th. Koen Willems in 28th. Storm van Rossum in 29th. Also down 11 positions. And Samir Paul in 30th. Down 4 positions as well. That's it for the Junior Max. Next up here at the track is Max Seniors. Alright, we are back green at the pre-grid exit for Senior Max. The qualifying heat, our last race before the lunch break. On the race, 7 minutes plus 1 lap. Let's take a look then at our 31 drivers grid. And it's Devian Roest who took pole position in the qualifying session ahead of Cas Boshuis, a fully Dutch front row. Louis Goff in third, ahead of the Germans Sebastian Koch in fourth. Macaulay Bishop in fifth. It was Macaulay, by the way, who changed his complete card after yesterday. It wasn't Jacob Ashcroft, I'm sorry for that, but Macaulay Bishop changing the complete cards after yesterday's results in the final. Not happy with how he performed there. Had no clue what that was down to. Knut Nielsen in 6th, ahead of Matej Radenkovic in 7th. Ties van Wijk in 8th. 9th for Cameron Nelson. Tino Sittler in 10th. Bastien Mesnil in 11th. Jort van Wijk in 12th. 13th for Ryan Bourguignon. 14th Oliver Jonkers. 15th Christopher Holst. Lloyd Hare in 16th. 17th Matthijs Terlouw. 18th Sasha Aim. 19th Arno Saborin. 20th Adam Wooden. 21st Ollie Wise. 22nd Charlie Smith. 23rd Tino Potier. William Pemble 24th. Freddy Jules Seunsens 25th. Magnus Brandt in 26th. Rijn van der Meer in P27. P28 for Bo Alrichs. P29 for Lado Kukjanidze. And Sverre Uben in 30th, ahead of Tom Longlois in 31st. Max Seniors yesterday. It was... Let me quickly take my results from yesterday. Was Cameron Nelson, sorry, excuse me, winning that race. Ahead of Tom Longlois in 2nd. But Tom Longlois now 31st. Ollie Wise in 3rd. Ollie Wise now 21st. So a lot of drivers will be looking to improve in this field as through the final corner we go. Once again, the revs rise. Will the lights go out? That's the question. Yes, they do. We're green flag racing. Green, 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 green for the last heat of qualifying heat. Say before the lunch break, it's Max Seniors and it is Devian Roest in P1. Devian Roest keeps P1 coming out of turn 2. Cas Boshuis in 2nd, ahead of Joff Fluids, or Louis Joff in 3rd. As up the inside goes the 351 of Louis Goff. Devian Roest down to 2nd on this first lap. Not able to convert that pole into a leading first lap, but it's not necessary. You only want to be leading once you cross the checkered flag. Cas Boshuis and Devian Roest still together in 2nd and 3rd. Devian Roest, of course, had that unfortunate DNF yesterday in the final. Also had a +5. +5 seconds for a bad maneuver. So, looking to take some points home today, Devian Roest. He's once again all over the back of Louis Goff. At least he's not allowing a gap to form. That in itself is important already. Cameron Nelson up 2 places. Where is Tom Longlois? Tom Longlois is in 23rd, up 8. Macaulay Bishop in 4th. Matej Radenkovic in 2nd. This was the group though. They only got 1 lap in qualifying. This due to the fact that on Friday there were some drivers stopped on track during a practice session. This, of course, strictly disallowed. Not allowed to purposely stop on track to wait for your mates, obviously. The same happened on qualifying yesterday. Same happened in practice today, and they did it again in qualifying. So, race director decided, well, you're only going to get 1 lap because of it. So that means that the qualifying grid is a bit shook up. Still though, we see drivers like Davian Roest, who was in the top 5 yesterday, who is then able, with only 1 lap, to put it down and qualify himself on pole. Davian Roest down to second on the opening lap, and that's where he stayed so far. Lewis Goff with the quickest lap, 55.367, just under a tenth quicker than Davian Roest behind him. So now has to make sure he can stay close to Lewis Goff. And they are doing so. The top 3 is breaking away. Lewis Goff, Davian Roest and Cas Boshuis all breaking away, with Lewis Goff leading the way. Chasing pack led by Macaulay Bishop in 4th, then Cameron Nelson in 5th, up 4 positions. Matej Radenkovic up 1 in 6th. Ties van Wijk up 1-2 in 7th. As Davian Roest has gotten back past Lewis Goff, decided that now was the time to do so. With 3 minutes left on the clock, Davian Roest goes up into the lead. Oh, is there we have an incident? Who's involved in it? Can't quite see the numbers from here. But 2 drivers find themselves stricken coming out of 6. One who was able to continue, but then later had to pull off the track too. We can see that. We're going to come up to that soon. Coming out of 6 now. As Davian Roest has created himself a handy lead at the front of the field. Here we go on the right hand side of screen now. There he is. You saw a quick glimpse of, I think, Fredrik Sørensen. Davian Roest now 4 tenths ahead of Lewis Goff. Ollie Wise, who last time round set the fastest lap of the race. Ollie Wise is up 8 positions. Tom Langlois up 10. As we had 2 cars in trouble, that was the 322 that was involved. That was Bo Arlrichs. Me and Pembel, I think, were involved in that. Yeah, Tino Potier and Fredrik Sørensen have gotten past. Magnus Brandt and Lado Kukianice were the drivers involved in that kerfuffle coming out of 6 2 laps ago. Davian Roest still in P1 ahead of Lewis Goff. Macaulay Bishop now up to 3rd. Cas Boshuis down to 4th. Can't quite follow the pace of fellow Dutchman Davian Roest at the front of the field. Lewis Goff was able to at least keep the same distance to Davian Roest, keeping him honest at the front. Next time Davian will come round, he will start the final lap of the race. Oh, Tino Sidler dropped down the order quite a bit. Ollie Wise now up 9 and 12. Tino Sidler down to 13. Rajen Bourguignon in 14. Down one position now. That's behind Davian Roest. There's fighting going on between Macaulay Bishop and Lewis Goff. Macaulay Bishop in third. Lewis Goff in second still. But Macaulay Bishop all over Lewis Goff. When is he going to try something? Where is he going to try something? Defending the inside into the last corner. Both of them are going to make it a drag race to the line, but it's Davian Roest who wins. Who becomes second? That's the question. Put it out of the toe is Macaulay Bishop across the line. 72 thousandths of a second this time between the two. But Lewis Goff gets P2 and Macaulay Bishop last on the podium in P3. Davian Roest though takes home a win with a 1.7 second lead. Showing what he can do after his unfortunate DNF yesterday in the final. He takes home the win. Matej Radenkovic also up into fourth. Gus Boshuis down to 5th even on that last lap. Let's go through the result there. Davian Roest wins ahead of Lewis Goff in second. Macaulay Bishop in third. Ahead of Matej Radenkovic in fourth. Gus Boshuis in fifth. Cameron Nelson in sixth. Knut Nielsen seventh. Sebastian Koch in eighth. Ties van Wijk in ninth. And Bastien Mesnil in P10. Jort van Wijk in 11th. Ollie Wise in 12th. Tino Sidler in P13. Charlie Smith in P14. Rajen Bourguignon in P15, Lloyd Hare in 16th, Olivier Jonkers in 17th, Tom Longlois in 18th, Sascha Aim in 19th, Christopher Holst in P20, Sverre Uben in 21st, Rijn van der Meer in P22, William Pemble 23, Tino Potier 24, Jules Sørensen or Frederick Jules Sørensen in P25, Bo Alriks in P26, Arno Sabarin in P27, Matthijs Tolau P28, Magnus Brandt 29, Lado Kukienice in P30 and Adam Wooden P31. Those last 5 not finishing the race. That was it for all the qualifying and qualifying heats for all the classes. It's now time for a lunch break here at the Cutting Define in Marienborg. So everyone have a good lunch at home too. We'll be back a bit later on at 5 minutes past 1 local time. Until then though, goodbye.